Peace, peace. Hope all is well. All right, this is part 2. Now, I'm going to get into the idea of repulsion. Repulsion versus attraction. Now, what do I mean? So, a lot of times when we're trying to do things right, we may come across like certain situations that happen where it's like we'll block ourselves. Like the whole idea of what I'm essentially getting at without even getting into like a rant of an example, is the idea of us blocking ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, in order for you to truly stay on track and to bring stuff into you or bring stuff to you, you know what I'm saying? You have to get out of your own way, so to speak, because negative energy, like it creates a malfunction within not only the environment but yourself. So then you cause chaotic like disruptions and say your communication, or like, you know, your ability to stay on track, you know, or your ability to just get things done, or practicality. Like you'll see it, like it'll play out in certain ways. And it's like, if you're not paying attention to that type of science, then it's like you'll get lost in the sauce of like what's really going on, to where it'll take you a lot more time to really magnify whatever thought or whatever reality that you wish to create. You know what I'm saying? So you want to get out of your own way. Like you have to understand nothing else is doing this shit but you. So if it's not going the way you want, then you're repelling it. Something that you're doing is repelling it. So whether it be your lifestyle, whether it be the type of thoughts that you are allowing to dictate where your mind, body, and soul are going. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you got to think, even though you are entering a new space in the external, you entering a new space in the internal too. So like, how does this feel? So this may be in a totally different space, but you don't consciously know that. So you may be sitting here trying to do something, but you in a totally different space. Like, you got to actually do research. You got to actually plan and strategize and look at the totality of what the situation calls for. You know what I'm saying? And being adaptable. Like, you have to be like water. You have to flow. Like, to build upon previous videos about the age of Aquarius, like, you have to, like, Aquarius, like, is an air sign, right? But it has elements of water. So if you gain enough moisture and water from the air around you, you can create water. Like, that has been done. That's scientifically been proven. So you have to think. Air can be swift. But it can also metamorph into water. It can be water. So then at that point, it can become the adaptation of water in a sense. So it can have this type of adaptability where it can freely think. You know what I'm saying? So and in order for you to freely think, you have to always be in tune into yourself. You have to always be aware of yourself. You have to always be, aligned with what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when we think about things, we don't a lot of times attract it and get it done because of the fact that we let other things distract us from it. You know what I'm saying? And what did I say in previous videos? In order for you to really truly attract things and do things and create the path that you want to create in this age and with this energy that's going on in the world around you, and just even the magnetic structure of the planet itself and how the sun is interacting with the planet, in order for you to take advantage of that as a melanated being, because you have access to that, you have to be in control of this. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be in control of this. You got to use this to your advantage. You know what I'm saying? Like you're the creator. You're the generator. You're the operator. You're the battery, bro. Or queen. Like, keep that in mind. And just even another thought is like, one thing I've noticed is that, like, we don't take ourselves serious. Like, we don't take ourselves serious at all. Like, people don't take themselves serious at all. Like, what I mean is, like, we go through so much shit through life to where life kind of takes us away from the childhood creativity that we naturally have. So, in essence, it's like you're becoming more of a robotic, structured individual rather than a free thinking being, a free flowing being. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's two sides of the same coin, but you have the choice to pick which side you want to go on. You know what I'm saying? So you have the ability to decide which path you want to take. You can take the red pill or the blue pill, or the yin and yang, or the good or the bad, up and down, the left or the right. Like, but it's no right or wrong answer at the end of the day, yo. I sort of, like, I know I ain't gonna say it, but just know the ancestors is all around us. You know what I'm saying? That's all I gotta say. But like, yeah, like, you know, so it's like, you guys gotta keep that shit in mind. Keep that shit in mind. And then another thing is, you have to also, you know, kind of, it's not even a matter of faith. People are going to look at it as arrogance. People are going to, now what I'm going to say, you know, at the end of the day, certain people don't understand what I'm saying. So you don't want to take on the energy of Lucifer by trying to create a world outside of God. You know what I mean? You want to create a world where it's harmonious. So if your intentions, like I said in the Divine Unity video, if your intentions and your mindset is not aligned with the Most High, it's never going to work. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. A lot of people read like manipulation and psychology books and shit like that nowadays, and like trying to branch that into spirituality. And then like some people are just like so deep into so-called spirituality and astrology to where they feel like they can psychologically read you. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that God is no thing. God is every number, bro. Like, God is every number. God is every number. God is no thing. God is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like there's no one word to really describe the essence of God. You know what I'm saying? God, even if depending on how you're writing it, how you're saying it, or, you know, the context and the intention and the thought that you're thinking behind about who's God, what God, and, you know, that you're speaking about, is like that plays a part into to all that as well. So it's like the law of magnetism and repulsion. It takes a lot into account of you and where you are as a being and what space you are internally in the yin realm and in the yang realm. But it's really having to do with the yin realm, because that's where everything starts. Everything kind of goes in and out of itself. So in essence, it started from a single point before it went out and then back in and then out, like a wavelength, like this. Like at one point, like it started at a single point, right? So it boom. At some point they came together. That's divinity right there, right? And then it went like this, like a wavelength. So then over time, it always had this point where they both met. That's divine unity right there. That's the combination of everything that exists at one point. That's that. You feel me? So it's like, you know, that's why it's so important to not look at yourself as just flesh and blood. Like, you know, like this is how you manifest it. You know, these are the elements that you are comprised of, but you want to always think on a higher level of who and what you are. Not even more so who you are. Well, yeah, you really think about who you are, but what you are is from the yin realm. So what you are, what this is, you know what I'm saying? Like what represent, like what is representing, like what does this represent higher? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what you want to think about as you go about your day-to-day life, and you thinking about trying to get this done or that done or this, or you want to do this, or you know, this situation just occurred, like you just lost $20, you know what I'm saying? But you know, why did you lose that $20? You know, what happened? You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many factors, there's so many things, but that's how God creates himself. And it's like you gotta be aware of that you are overlooking that. Like you're looking at that. Like when you look down, you're looking up. When you look up, you're looking down on yourself. So when you sitting out at night and you're just looking at the stars, you're looking at the sky, it's darkness, right? It's black, right? Okay then. So when you look up, you're really looking down on yourself. You looking down at yourself. You look like, because you can observe the entire, you can't even like, even though you can't observe the entire sky in of itself, you can still sit back and have an like a overlooking perspective of it, depending on how you look at it, to connect with it, to see like you really are that. Like it's, if you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. Like a lot of people ain't gonna get what I'm saying. You feel me? But you know what I mean. Like you know what I mean. And that's how you can look at it. That's how you can practically look at it, you know, in real day-to-day life, to where you can see the essence of God. Like you can see and feel the presence of God, even though you may not be a Christian or Muslim. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a Christian or Muslim. I'm not none of them things. I've transcended all of that. I've transcended information. I've always been here. I've seen creation. I've been here even before creation, because I am creation. Like that's the essence and the idea of what this entire shit is about. Like, why do you think you have deja vu? Why do you think you feel like you've met certain people, or why you feel like you come across certain people, and then for a certain period of time y'all there, and then after a certain point in time it's like you doing this? It's like there's a reason behind that. You know what I'm saying? You know, and you have to be grateful to the Most High, and grateful to your ancestors that came before you, that are, you know, guiding you along that path. You know, because not a lot of people is going to take that path. Not a lot of people is going to have the courage to be themselves in a society where everyone is looking to a source to be like. You know what I mean? Like everyone is looking for a source to be like, or everyone is looking for something that can, you know, entice their ego, instead of just actually knowing like, okay, at the end of the day, what do I really want? Like, okay, without any influence of social media or even anything else, what do I personally want? People can't even answer that. People cannot understand and then therefore answer that question, because everything is based off of another source instead of them. You know what I'm saying? And you got to think about it. That's what religion did. It made you look outside of yourself to see a source. So you looking at the external realm thinking that something should change, when it's a matter of the yin realm first making the external. Like the external is only reflecting the internal. You feel me? So that's why it's very, very important to be mindful of like what you doing on a day-to-day. That's how you are either repelling or magnifying / attracting whatever that you thinking about, whatever you doing. Like that's really how it boils down. You got to think about how many thoughts you have on a day-to-day that you probably don't even think about, that you really don't think about, but you have the thought. How many things that you say in your mind, or that you feel that you should do. Like it's so many inclinations. You have thousands of those a day. How many of those are geared towards negative energy, like just negative shit? So think about it. If 4,000 of 10,000 of those thoughts is geared towards negative shit and what's going on outside, and like this, and this, and things that you said, conversations, people, things that you've heard that reaffirm. It's like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, like, what do you think is gonna happen at that point? Like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, you plant 10,000 seeds, but you fuck up 4,000 of them. What the fuck you think is gonna happen to them seeds? What you think? Like, what do you like it break down like that? But it's like people, it's like but sometimes people don't want to think that deep. But it's like, I'm not thinking that deep. That's just a way of just doing shit. I'm telling you to not think about it. Like, don't think about shit like that. Live this shit out. That's how you attract this shit. That's how you can just do shit and have a thought, and that shit will come to you literally days later. Without like no no disruption at all. Cause nothing can stand in your way. Like, the universe nature gets out its way for you, bro. Nature sits and does this. It literally sits there and just does this, bro. It lets you go. Like, it lets you go. It literally just lets you do you. Because at that point, now it sees that you understand. Like, it sees that you understand it. Like a female. Like, think about it. You ever been with a woman or a man? Well, I'm really speaking to dudes out there. Like, but, well, this is kind of a message for dudes. Like, this segue. This little point right here. It's like, you ever been with a female or a woman, and it's like, you actually listen to her emotions. You listen to what she was really saying from an emotional perspective rather than a logical. And then like sometimes it'll go to where it's like, y'all going good now. Y'all going good. Everything flowing straight. But then guess what happens? Everything is chaotic again. Why is that happening? Now, we as a dude, you looking at it like, yo, what the fuck? But you gotta think that's how the universe is on a higher level too. Because a woman is not, like, a woman has the womb. The womb in of itself is the universe, is the being. She is just carrying the womb. So it's like she's carrying the creation of God, of you, man. Young man or king, you know what I'm saying? It's like she's carrying you. She's you know what I'm saying? Like in a higher body, the universe is carrying you. Like real shit. Like on a higher body, the universe is carrying your dumb ass, your little stupid ass. Nah, I'm fucking with y'all. But like real shit though, like on a higher perspective, the universe is carrying you in its body. So like similar to the woman, she's carrying you in her body. So it's like when you think about it, that's why women are like chaotic. And I use that word very loosely. I don't mean chaotic in how Western society like Western society's definition of chaotic. I'm saying chaotic in terms of how the feminine nature constantly seeks renewal. It constantly seeks expansion of renewal. It constantly seeks renewal of rejuvenation. So as you are going through your day-to-day life, you have to care about the certain things that you want to do for real, with a certain care to it, like a woman, like the feminine nature, like having a motherly nature. That's why it's important for men to be able to see both sides. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be fully logical, because if you're fully logical, then what happens when you have a daughter? How are you going to be able to connect to her? You know, even with your wife or your spouse, how are you going to be able to connect to your wife if you're just so logical and so hell-bent in this reality? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's very confusing for men and women to understand each other, because in this age, like the nature of man and woman is coming to the forefront. It's authentic. So we're not gonna sit here and lie about a woman's nature or a man's nature anymore. Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? So that's why the old ways of thinking about things and how things are supposed to be structured, that Capricorn energy is like fading away as we approach, the so-called election. Things and structures are breaking down, and now new ways of thinking about how things really should be done and how we communicate it is actually being brought to the forefront. So, that was like a little side rant, I ain't gonna lie. But like, yeah, though, like at the end of the day, like if you look at the energy and the femininity of a woman, like she matches the kind of like how the universe really responds and acts as well. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like it's the same. Like it's really the same. That's why women are the way they are. They're very intuitive. And they're very spiritually so-called spiritually inclinated more than men. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but that's why I said they inhabit the magnetic energy. Like that's why women are able to do things. They could, like the way they're wired, it's like the energy that they have is very fluid. And it's like that's how the universe wants you to go. That's how you have to match the vibe. Like you gotta match the vibe. Like you gotta be patient. That's a feminine trait. Not a and when I say feminine, I don't mean like I said earlier, with chaos. It's like I don't mean the Western society's definition of like feminine. I mean the yin energy, the inner aspect of self before creation even establishes and the energy of Aries begins, or the first house, or you get to the first house, in astrology. So it's like, before we even start, where are we? You know what I'm saying? Like, where are we? Like, where are we as a being, as a consciousness, before we even go, before we even take the 12 different directions of a personality that we can take, or the 12 different ways that we can create ourselves in reality, or the 12 black nations, or the 12 elders. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different names, different ways of thinking about it, but leading to the same shit. So, keep that in mind, as you are going about your day-to-day life. I hope this video was a little bit much more informative and a little bit much more detailed, example oriented as well, to kind of give an even better perspective over all about how we're either repelling or we're attracting certain shit. You choose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you choose, bro. You choose. So, keep that in mind. And then also, one thing I also want to say, though, that is also very, very important. The subconscious mind is not what y'all actually really, really think. The subconscious mind is just a collection of shit that the conscious mind has just thrown back there. The real subconscious mind is the mind of God. That's your inner yang. That's your inner yang. That's the real subconscious. The subconscious is just the shit that the conscious mind just throws in the back. It's like, all right, put that shit right here, whatever. But what's really overlooking, that's your inner yang. Understand? I just had to make that clarification. So the shit that the conscious mind throws back here, right? Which is what people call the subconscious mind. I want y'all to understand, even if you thinking about shit and it goes in the back of your mind or it doesn't take form just yet, I want you to understand, the subconscious mind doesn't give a fuck about good or bad. It's just going to do shit. It's just going to do it. It's just going to do it. Like the higher mind, well, actually, I meant to say the higher mind. The higher mind doesn't give a fuck about what the fuck you're talking about. It's gonna take what you have been putting here in the subconscious mind, because your feet, like, think about it like this, right? So you got the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and then the your higher self, right? It's 3 different levels, right? So boom, the conscious mind. The conscious mind is generating this shit. It's generating the energy. So it's generating the thoughts, the actions, whatever you're doing, whatever you consciously are thinking about on a day-to-day basis. That's feeding the subconscious mind. It's like putting money in the bank. You feeding it. You feel me? That's what it's doing. Whether it be euro that you feed in that bank into, whether it be the United States dollar, whether it be the peso, whether it be the Australian dollar, whatever. Think about it in terms of that, like whatever thoughts and whatever forms of how you are experiencing this realm, that's what you're putting in this bank right here. And then from that bank, your true self is cashing you out, my nigga. Your true self is cashing you out, bro. Your true self is looking at that shit like, damn, okay, you're praying. Look, this is how I'm gonna break it down. This is like and I'm gonna do a video on the so-called true nature of the Holy Trinity. I'm gonna explain what the Holy Trinity really is, you know, from Yeshua's perspective, and from what it really also is. But he also explained what it really is. But that's why I said I'm gonna take it from Yeshua's perspective. So boom. When you're praying, right? Say you praying, and I don't even like saying praying, but say you praying, right? Boom, you praying. Damn, I want $20. I want $20. I want $20. You needing it, right? This is what you put in the bank. Why do you need that $20? This. How you feel about it? This is how I feel. Oh, wait. You want more despair? You want more feeling? You want more bad shit? Not even bad shit. Let me not even say that. Let me not even say despair. Let me not even say bad shit. This is how your higher mind is looking at what you have put in the subconscious, right? This is how the repulsion versus magnetic attraction occur, right? So boom, your higher self looking at it like, oh, because it's reading energy. It's not reading words. It's in a different higher dimension. It's in a different dimension where words don't even exist. So it's looking at the energy that you putting out. It's looking at the energy that you're using. So what energy are you using? You're using desperation. You're using desperation, because the whole point of you being here is not to sit here and look outside of yourself for something. You have to look within to figure it out. So if it's looking at it like, okay, oh shit. Oh, he wants more he/she or I want more desperation, the experience. Oh, okay. Let me give it to you, because we want to experience. Like, that's the point. Like, we want to experience shit. It's not a matter of what you don't get what you want. You get what you deserve. This is what you deserve. You wanted despair, so I'm going to give you despair. You wanted more desperation, so I'm going to give you more desperation. I'm going to put you in more situations where you're more desperate for this $20. But if you sat here and said, no, I'm going to figure it out, I got to figure this shit out, the higher self looking at it like, oh, it's competitive. It's this competitive energy. It wants it. It desires it. Oh, okay, let me put it in situations where it desires it even more, and it eventually gets it. Because it's desiring it so bad, it's going to find something. That's why hustlers, so-called from the streets, like they when they get into business, and they really are the true businessmen of the world, because they know the rules of the game when it comes to getting what you want and getting it done. the idea of repulsion and attraction. That's all that this shit is. It's like, it doesn't read words. The source does not read words. It literally reads energy. It literally reads frequency and vibration. So whatever you putting out, that's what matters. It doesn't matter what the fuck is coming back in, because that's what you put out. That's what you put out. So it's coming back to you. It's coming back to you, bro. Literally, it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back to you, but it's gonna reflect the energy that you want. You know? So hope this video was very, was informative. You know what I'm saying? This bitch was like 30 minutes the whole time. But, I hope my videos are very informative, and, whatever the case may be. And, I hope y'all stay abundant, stay aware, and, share the love, man. Share the love. Share the information to other people. Even if you feel like people are gonna repel you, still put yourself to attract that possible outcome that you want. So then, even if they repel you, eventually they're gonna attract to you. You know what I mean? Like, that's just how it go. So stay healthy, stay abundant, and yeah, peace.